Hey guys, just wanted to say before the video starts that I apologize for any microphone audio issues. I was messing around with the mic settings beforehand and the gain was turned just a little bit too low and it didn't pick up on quite every word that I said. And this isn't so much of a build tutorial as it is a showcase. So we'll look into it and then I'll show you what it actually does. So here's my OP build. Heals Charge is an Aura Forma for the extra mod capacity. Power Drift for that extra strength. Blind Rage, again, for strength. And then efficiency isn't so much of a concern because we're only worried about the first ability, which is Reservoirs. I'm using Umbral Vitality and Umbral Intensify for a set bonus of health and strength. Primed Continuity for ability duration, because again, we're using the modes, so we want them to last as long as they possibly can. This one in particular lasts almost 70 seconds. Narrow-minded for added ability duration, and then minus ability range, because we're not so much concerned about range. It is a moat. Augur Secrets for extra strength. Stretch for some range. It's not great, but you know it does a little bit. And Transient Fortitude for ability strength and minus ability duration, which is kind of counterintuitive, but it still works out. And then Arcanes, of course, are optional. If you don't have them, not that important. Here's a range build for crowd control, which again focuses on mostly your first ability. It can also be used for Soulgate, which is your ultimate. And then Breach Surge. Will O Wisp is essentially useless, so we won't cover that. Very similar to the first build, with the exception that this one focuses on range and not so much power strength. And the only purpose of this is whenever you're in heavy enemy rooms, it will zap the living shit out of everything around you, so that way that, for one, you can see where your enemies are before they can see you, and two, it stuns them, so you have more time to act on it. Very similar to the first build. And again, Arcanes are optional. In the balanced build, this is for... this is something that I made just for people who want to get Wisp, and then maybe can't have all the fancy mods like, you know, Umbral Intensify maxed out, and then the negative mods, positive and negative mods that you would get from Lua, or the Void, sorry. This is something that anybody can afford. It's still fairly decent stats, just not as crazy. Quick thinking is the main thing here, which would drain your energy to stop lethal damage, and then we have the higher energy pool count here, as opposed to 300 with the other. And I will show you how these all work. Okay, so we are in the Simulacrum right now, which is in the Lorunda Relay. If you don't have access to it, it's 50,000 standing from Cephalon Samaris. We'll start with just this balanced build, just to kind of get like a baseline of how this performs. We're going to use a Fulman, which is probably one of my favorite primaries, but this is just a base, something with moderately high fire rate by itself. Go ahead and spawn our enemies. For this, we're going to look at the Vitality Moat, which you can see the increased health at the top right. We're going to go Haste for additional attack speed. And then the Shock Reservoir, which you can see has fairly decent range just for a base. Okay. So we're going to change the fire rate on the Fulman to auto. You can see the stun that I was talking about. Not so much that they're attacking, but you can see that it stuns them. So the fire rate on the basic one, you know, it's good, but it's not significantly impressive. Go ahead and switch. Go ahead and switch to crowd control build, which is the maximum range and somewhat better strength than before. Make sure that I actually selected it. Same as before. Shock mode and health mode. And for the fire rate, have the right mode selected. It is significantly faster yet. Of course, the added benefit here is the range of the shock. That's what you wanted this for. And of course, this also affects your melee speed. Finally switch to the overpowered, greedy build that has just power, strength, and duration. Which arguably is more than likely going to be a solo use. Same thing. Remotes. You'll notice that the range on this is not as drastic, and it only affects several enemies at a time, as opposed to the other one almost literally zapping an entire room. So we'll make sure we switch this time to the right fire rate. And it is drastically faster. And as well for the melee also. That basically covers what this Wisp showcase can do. For 3 builds anyhow. Thank you for watching, and if you want, I stream almost daily on Twitch. It is twitch.tv/SGPotato. I'll leave a link for that in the description if you're interested in coming by.